All right, friends. Today's story, we're a little bit late, but I want to share with you this. I told you, you see a picture of him. This is the Besusha Poisner or Posner Verbringing. Just to tell you, his brother is Zalman Posner, Olav Shalom from Tennessee. His father was Shalom Poisner, the Shliach of the Frierdiker Rebbe to Pittsburgh. His sister, Basi Garelik, is the wife of Rabbi Gershon Mendel, just passed away. Very illustrious family. His father learned in Lubavitch. In his article, some fascinating stuff of him, Zusha as a kid, by the Frierdiker Rebbe. But I want to read to you, and this is like a quote from a Verbringing of his. It's kind of classic. And it gives you, I told you, he was a unique chassid. And my friends and I had the privilege, this was the Tishrei before I got engaged, it was my last Tishrei as a bocher. And we had the privilege of spending nights with him, whole nights, sukkahs all nights, 1979, Verbringing with him. And he really, really imparted a sense of authenticity and discussions that is unique. In his words, I'm going to quote him. In translation, we live in a generation, he says, where children of Bochum have tremendous amount of knowledge. Everything is available. With the press of a button, it means the internet, the phone, any information that they want is accessible. Information on the Rebbe and on Chassidus. It's information they have, but Havana they don't have. I didn't realize. Havana, we're talking here, this is missing. He says today, he's being sarcastic, not only teachers today, everything can be learned through a computer. What's missing, he says, is the patch. The flick that the teacher would give. I mean, this is Zusha speaking, and you have to understand, he's the most lovable person, by the way. I don't think he ever gave a patch in his life. He's even capable. But he means the authentic engagement of the teacher. He says a little bit of regesh, Havana, exactly what we're learning about over here. It's so much missing. He knows the Maime well. He has the Siches, fantastic. He does Afotas Tayados, Hafli Vafela wonders, he's spreading Yiddishkeit. But really to learn Chassidus, to understand and to feel, that's another story. Everything has become technical, lacking its depth. Belidas, the Rebbe has become a bechina. I'm sure he means by bechina. He means almost an object. I'm quoting now. He remembers. He's saying it's a great pain. Moishe Shabbos of the Shiva after the Stalkas of the Rebbetzin, Chab Beishvat. So the Rebbe said, for the Shiva, for most of it, he was in his house, but Shabbos he was in 770. And Moishe Shabbos, the Rebbe sat in the front wall, Shiva. And people went by to Menachem Ovel. So Zusha is saying, and he was in such pain, he was shocked. He says there was the pyramid, the pyramid, the benches they make on the northern wall, and Barchem was standing there looking at the Rebbe. He says the Machrid. This is what's Machrid. Machrid is translate Machrid.
Frightening.
Yeah. He said all that was missing is they should start. All that was missing is they should start a niggin. One of the Chassidim went over to him and screamed to him, this is not a show. The Rebbe is not sitting on a show, standing and looking at the Rebbe sitting Shiva. He said, but how did this happen? When there's no Havana and everything is just based on information and trivia, and he calls that trivia. So then, and it's not connected to a feeling then you could stand on the pyramid and then gawk. As a teacher would say, to stop gawking out the window. A little bit more from Mr. Bang and continuing this. I know it's a little bit late. Where's the next page? Okay, we'll continue. Missing. Where's the next page here? Yeah. He says, the author of the article says you can tell who the Bezushas Borchim when they came to 770, who learned by him. They were not the Borchim in the front row when the Rebbe walked in or out of 770. He used to say, you want to look, but you don't have to put your face in the Rebbe's face. And I'll quote just one more little paragraph, maybe we'll continue tomorrow. This is for Fabrengen. Quoting a Bezushas, he said this often. He said, I grew up in a house that was Chassidic home. His father was from the big Chassidim, even in Lubavitch. He said, I never heard the word Yiskashers at home. I didn't hear the word Shlichus. I didn't hear the word Mesiras Nefesh. By the way, my mother-in-law says, that she grew up in a home, she never heard the word Avos Yisrael. You have to have Avos Yisrael. But the whole house, the whole life is Avos Yisrael. The point is not a slogan to be preached. He said, back to the Bezushas. So one thing you heard in the house, do what you have to do. You have to do something which is called shlichus. Do it. You have to do something which is called and connected to Mesiras Nefesh. Do it, and so on. But don't try and achieve, become something, achieve something. Levels. Just do what you have to do. Likewise, he says, it's not about amassing knowledge and trivia and another kilometer of knowledge, and I know this and I concluded that. That's not what it's about. Do what you have to do. Learn Chassidus learn Chassidus in a way that you take it to heart. Try to connect to it, to understand it. You need to understand, he means Pnimi Sabina. Relatively speaking, not just information. Be connected to it. Think about it. Then he says there'll be a feeling, there'll be Havana and a true understanding, and everything will be much truer. L'chaim. A direct quote, Fabrengen from the beloved and unforgettable Rabbi Zusha. Yidden, we'll see you, God willing, all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.